All right, the review of the calls from today in the live trading chat room at GreatStockPicks.com. This is September 5th, 2013. WLT, something I highlighted in the pre-market showing our members the chart. And I said I really didn't want to get involved in this unless it got over recent highs. I liked it over 1380. Well, the opening 5-minute candle here, as it does a lot lately, took off, had decent volume, looked okay, right? But then you got the reversal right in that same area. However, this time, it was holding up pretty well. So I went ahead when it formed this green candle. I said, you know what? I'm just going to make this prove itself. If it takes out the high of the day now after these sellers came in, which they've been doing lately, I think we've got a good one. Okay, so I called it at 1376. Gave it 20 cents room, 1356 stop. And boom, there's the trigger. And the first pullback just to the moving averages, and then another nice wave. And that was just beautiful. So from 1376, it went up to 1485, $1.09 in our favor on 20 cents risk. Pretty darn nice way to start the day. My other calls from the day, I'll go over all of them here. KSS was just ahead of itself here and coming up into resistance on the hourly chart, which you can't see it on here. But so I went ahead and called this short at 53.18 with a stop at 53.32. So there's the trigger, and never visits the stop, and fell from 53.18 to 52.60 at its best. Almost 60 cent move in our favor, 14 cents risk. FAST, really strong out of the gate. Let me show you exactly how I called this one. If you've seen any of my videos, you know I love this green line here, okay? This is the 24 period moving average, 5-minute candles. And so it came here, bounced off the 8 a little bit, and then came back down. And then I was hoping for a push down to this green line, and I got it. Right there. And so I went ahead and called this long FAST 47.93 with a nickel risk. There's the turn, triggered 47.93 and a nickel risk, and it ended up going all the way to 49. So that's $1.07, I think. I don't have it on the, oh, there it is, $1.07 on a nickel risk that never got stopped out. That was a very nice call there, or a nice trade there, I should say. That I love that green line. Put a 524 on your charts. A 5-minute candle, 24 exponential. Strong stocks love to visit that and bounce. Not always going to work, but man, that was nice and low risk. LNG I called as a short up here. Was getting ahead of itself, running into resistance, and shorted at 30.30. Stop was only a dime above, and from 30.30 it fell down to 29.64. A 66 cent move in our favor on a dime risk that never stopped out. And late in the day, SCTY, just called it over 30 right here, and boom, we got our breakout quickly to 30.60. That was almost it. A couple other things I pointed out were RKUS. When it got, because I had it on watch because of the daily chart, over the high of the day I said might work. I didn't give a trigger and stop, but that one did work. We were never underwater in that if you took it. Abercrombie and Fitch, kind of the same deal. I called it. I said this breaks the high of the day. It might get going, but I didn't give a trigger and stop. And it really just chopped around straight sideways the rest of the day. KMI straight down to 35 after getting beaten up a couple days on the daily already. I love when you have a stock like that and then they get beaten up at the open. So I said this might work on like a 5 setup or anywhere here near 35. And it wasn't huge, but it did bounce probably 50 or 60 cents from there. Let's see in my notes. That might be everything I called all day. I also, for our SMS members, called Campbell's Soup. Again, that's what I called yesterday. Right at 42. It never did stop out, but I sent an alert shortly after I called. I called it somewhere in here. And once it came down and just started to fail, I went ahead and took a 15-cent loss. And I usually don't micromanage the SMS picks because they're meant to be traded smaller. And I try to bottom feed on those because people don't have, access. They're not right here trading with us. And so I try to make it stocks that might bounce all afternoon, and I'm buying them at support. Anyway, I did actually micromanage this one and said, hey guys, I'm taking a 15-cent loss on Campbell's Soup. So the SMS pick didn't work today, but man, everything in the chat room, I didn't have one losing trade today. Everything worked. So I don't mean to brag because just like golf, the minute you start bragging, it'll reach out and slap you across the head. So anyway, it was a nice day. I'll quit babbling. We'll see you guys tomorrow.